And let me just say this real quick. This is not to say that I'm not saying don't live your life to the fullest. I'm not saying that whatsoever. I'm saying this even to myself. It's not to not live your life to the fullest. It's about living your life with value, living your life with intention, living your life like your life makes sense to you and like your life is worth it. You know what I mean? I think at the end of the day, doing things for the plot is also taking the value out of certain things because you're doing things again for a possible problem to arise. You know what I mean? If you start to make decisions that matter, you can still live your life within the fullest. You can still definitely live your life within the fullest as long as it makes sense at the end of the day. And I feel like the way I want to live my life where I am right now, it's about making sense. I'm not 21 anymore. When I'm putting myself in certain predicaments like that, that just did not make sense. What do I look like at my big age of 21? Dropping out of school and having a kid and doing this and doing that, things that I know I didn't want to do, things that again, if anybody else decides to do that, that's fine, but that's with their life and that's not with mine. And I feel like that's not me living my life for me personally, of value for me, because I know that that's not something that I want. And that's what I mean by that, y'all. It's about being intentional at the end of the day, honey. And let me tell you something, I'm only getting older. I'm only getting older. So that means I have to be wiser. And that means I have to start making wiser decisions because nowadays, honey, things are starting to get too expensive to try to do things for the plot. Let me say that. Cause honey, that's the other thing too, honey. It's getting too life is getting too expensive to be doing things just cause now. Okay, we're paying big bills. We're paying big bills, doing big things. And I don't know about you, but I don't got all the money in the world to be just out here just making mistakes. Okay, I don't got all the all, no, I don't even got all the mental. I don't even have. I'm not even in the right mental space to be doing things just cuz, honey. Let me tell you. Okay, because a lot of times when I was doing stuff like that, I was putting myself in toxic situations because it was cute. Girl, what do I look like? I'm not doing things because it's cute anymore. Things aren't cute. Things is real. It's getting real. It's getting very, very real. You got to start asking yourself questions like this. Let me tell you something. This is a question I just had to recently have to ask myself because I was just thinking about doing something for the plot and going back to somebody that I used to have dealings with. I was thinking about doing something for the plot and going back to somebody that I'm used to because I'm comfortable. And instead of just trying to get to know somebody new and all that stuff like that, I'm like, you know what? This person has been doing this, that, and a third. Like, maybe I should give them a second chance, knowing knowing dang well what it got me in last time. I don't have that time, especially if I'm claiming that I want from my life and I'm asking the Lord, okay, I want to have a healthy relationship, or I'm asking the Lord, okay, I want to have a healthy job. I want a job that has a healthy work environment. Especially if I'm asking the Lord to put me into different rooms that I want to be in, to start meeting different people. You know what I mean? How could I ever see myself in a room full of, successful people if I'm messing with somebody or if I'm doing certain things that are low vibrational? How would I ever get myself to that? And that's really what this is all about. If you're going to do it for the plot, if you're going to do something wild, if you're going to do something crazy and that's out of the box, at least let it do it to lead you into places where it matters for your life. At least do it for that. You know what I mean? And that's why I say this right here. This is an important question you got to ask yourself. Does this decision that I'm about to make serve a purpose in the life that I'm praying for? Does this decision that I'm about to make serve the purpose in the life that I'm praying for? Because it has to make sense. That's what that's the saying about make it make sense. It has to make sense for your life. If you're going to be doing something for the plot, child, just at least make it make sense, because then you're going to be putting yourself in a constant spiral. Then there's no growth. Then you're living your life in the delusion when in reality, that's not the tone that you set for your life. That's not what you sat and you manifest for. That's not what you prayed for. You know what I mean? How do you expect God to bless you? How do you expect things to come out in life if you're continuing to do things that's in the opposite direction? That doesn't make any sense, y'all. And like I said earlier in this podcast, honey, you only have one life. Okay? Live it to the fullest, but live it with value. Because once you do that plot, that's going to end you up in that grave, honey. I don't want that. Okay. I want to be able to live my life where I have the choice to make, where I have the choice to have a backup plan, where I have the choice to make a different decision, where I have the choice to be like, you know what, let me reroute because I don't want to do nothing that's going to put me on my deathbed, honey. Let me tell you. Okay. Now, so to put yourself in a place where it's a little bit more intentional, I know for me, I had to sit down and say, what do I want from my life? Okay. If I said that I want to meet new people and I want to put myself out there, then maybe my new outlook of doing it for the plot can be me trying to go to new events that I've never been before. And I may be a little scared because, I might have a little anxiety meeting new people and, walking up and trying to get to know somebody. But instead of me walking up and getting to know somebody that I know is going to put me in a toxic spiral, I'm walking up to get to know somebody, to meet some new people, some new friends, to put myself in new opportunities, to bring myself into new rooms, like I said before. Maybe doing it for the plot could be if somebody invites you out somewhere and you usually might say no to something, but maybe you might want to say yes to this new experience. You want to have a new open mind to something. You know what I mean? It's about positivity that comes with doing it for the plot at the end of the day. We got to take the problem out of the plot and put the positivity into the plot. That's really the type of plot that I'm trying to do, honey. That's the type of plot that I'm trying to live. A plot that's going to that's going to bring me into new heights, into new levels in my life. So if I'm going to say yes to a new experience, it better be an experience that I'm going to benefit off of. It better not be an experience that's going to drag me through the mud, honey. What do I look like? Because a lot of times, like I said earlier, you'll put yourself in a plot that's too thick to get yourself out of. So before you try to make that decision, listen to this podcast, honey. Take a step back, second guess yourself. It's okay to second guess certain things. But the biggest takeaway of all of this is to make sure that you are being intentional with your life and what you said that you want for your life. Okay. So if you're going to make any type of decision that may be out of the norm for you, maybe take a step back and think about what you prayed for your life. Think about the New Year's resolution that you set for this year. And it's okay to make mistakes, but make sure it's a mistake that you know that you can right your wrongs with and continue living through. Don't put yourself in anything that's going to hold yourself back. Put yourself in a learning experience to where you can say, you know what, I lived, I've learned, and I've overcome, honey. Thank you. Listen to your mother. Listen to your mother. You know your mother never lies. You know that. I'll never lie to you all. Okay, period. I'm feeling good. I really, really love this episode because I feel like, I was just in a situation where I was thinking about possibly doing it for the plot. Honey. I was like, let me rewind. But then I realized, oh my gosh, I'm literally taking a step back that I literally said I was going to move on from. And it's crazy because it's literally the new year and I've wanted all these new things for my life. And I feel like the only way God is going to really, truly bless me is if I finally put to rest old things and old thoughts and old habits. You know what I mean? So, child, it's time to start doing it for the plot the right way, honey, the positive way. Thank you. Make sure that you guys are following my Instagram page. Make sure you guys are following the podcast Instagram page, honey, so that we can keep in touch with each other. If there's anything else that y'all want me to talk about, or if there's anything that you relate to your mother with, honey, I want to talk to my children. So make sure that you're following childplease.amd, and make sure that you're also following this YouTube channel so that you can be watching it live and in the flesh, honey. That's the only way to really get the tea. All right. So I say all that to say, honey, let's first up toast up and get up on out of here. Thank ya. Woo! Rate this podcast 5 stars for doing it for the plot. I'll see y'all later. Bye.